When converting to Actionstep from another billing software, you will need to enter the opening balances due from the final invoices from the previous billing system. You'll enter the balances as invoices in Actionstep. This video will show how to create the opening balance invoice and receive payment to that invoice. This process assumes you have set up billing and that your client contacts and matters have already been loaded into Actionstep. This process only applies to accounts receivable and not trust. Trust will be addressed in separate videos. With your unpaid invoices handy, launch Actionstep. Click on the accounting menu, hover over the accounting menu, and go to billing, or it might say sales, depending on what the menu is, menu customizations you might have done in your system. And we're going to choose invoices. And that'll take us to the invoice page. If you haven't entered any invoices yet, you won't see anything here, and this will be blank. Since we're just doing the opening invoices balances, then we're going to go to the quick entry wizard. This makes it fairly simple and straightforward and quick to enter these. So in the client field, you can go ahead and start typing your client's name. And it will come up with a list close to what you're typing. I'm going to go ahead and put in a name. I'm going to skip on to the shipping address and choose matter client shipping address. I'm going to skip client PO. I don't have one. You probably don't either. We can put in the sales invoice of the current date, or you can use the original invoice date that you had from the previous billing system. If you do that, then you will be able to more easily track the aging on the invoice. For the invoice number, you can either use the original invoice number, or you can leave the default auto and it'll go ahead and put in whatever the next invoice number is available in Actionstep that auto increments. If you have multiple line items for a single matter, we can go ahead and put in multiple line items. The reason why you might have that is because you may have a fee total and a expenses total or disbursement total. We can put those in there separately if you like. Down here in the first line item, which is already set for you, you can go ahead and enter the matter number if you know it. If you don't know the matter number and you don't know it by name, then of course we can just start typing something and it will come up with either the closest thing in the name of the matter or the closest thing in the name of the primary participant, or typically the client. So if we wanted to type in again Livingston here, then it will come up with all of the matters that have Livingston as primary. I just go ahead and choose one. And the account will typically be either fees or disbursement income. In this case, I just have fees. There is no tax. I'm not going to deal with the expense code clearly. And then my description is going to be balance brought forward. If I use the auto for the invoice number, I might go ahead and add the invoice number, the original invoice number here. Otherwise, I move on. I'm just going to leave quantity 1 there, and let's say it's $568. I'll go ahead and enter that there, and I'm just using my tab key to go forward. If I want to add another line for disbursements, then I can here. Just click Add Line, and we'll go ahead and add a line for me. We'll copy over the matter number. I can go ahead and change my fees to disbursements. If I spell it right. And then again, balance brought forward. Again, I'm just going to leave that there. And now, if I'm going to create another invoice right after this, so I'm doing a series of invoices, then I can go ahead and click Save and Create New, and it will pop up another screen for me here. If not, I'll just hit Save and Close, and I'll be done. Now, if that invoice doesn't come up for you right away, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and hit the refresh button, and then all those invoices should show up. For paying these invoices, then it's just a matter of going ahead and clicking here. So now the payment has come in. You've sent these invoices out already to the client. Now they're coming in. Now you're going to pay them in Actionstep. So if I put a check in the box here to the left of that invoice, then I can go ahead and choose Create Payment. The Create Payment screen comes up, and I simply apply the payments. So after checking the box next to the invoice, I can click on Create Payment. We'll bring up the Received Funds page. My date, choose a bank account. I'm going to auto number the receipts. If I want to print the receipt, I can check the box. It's being paid by the client. The client has already entered for me. Funds are being received versus coming from the general retainer or applying a credit. Received from Dan Livingston, whoever the client is, the amount, and then I can pick how this was paid, by credit card, by check, by electronic funds. If it's by check, then I can put in a check number. I can put in this other information if I like, but probably most likely I'm just going to pick the check date. I can put in a memo if I like, and then I can go ahead and save. And now that invoice is gone, it's paid.